Well, guys, we are back to another episode of the Liberal Asshole Show, episode 24, as Harry is back after some time away. So, today's topics are...
Progressive YouTubers we hate or find annoying, Copmala being a total failure, Nina losing, the eviction crisis, vaccines, both mandates and views, DeSantes, and Cuomo.
Alright, so what do you all want to talk about first? Or maybe, Harry, do you want... Or maybe...
This one on the first one.
Yeah, Harry, what do you want to talk about since you're now back?
We can watch Farron Cousins' video on Ron DeSantes and then talk about it, I guess.
Alright, let me go get the video, so maybe you want to talk about why I go find it?
No, it's only... the video's only 5 minutes, so I prefer to watch it on normal speed, because it's only 5 minutes anyway, so it shouldn't take that long. And basically, obviously, Farron talks about, how pissed off he is at his shitty, Trumpist Republican governor. Because he recently did something pretty authoritarian by not letting localities, take, restrictions against COVID. Since the Delta variant is so fucking, lethal and spreads easily. So, yeah, I like to watch his video on Ron DeSantes because it's pretty fucking funny and true. So I look forward to
you silly non-American. COVID isn't real. Remember, you silly. We're dying. We're dying all, but who cares? We're idiot conservatives.
First off, I was born in New York. Second of all, COVID is real, so go fuck yourself. People are dying, so...
I know we're dying! We're the only ones that are dying right now! So you should be happy we're making America smarter for each one of us dropping!
A group of parents in the state of Florida have filed a lawsuit against Republican Governor Ron DeSantes, trying to overturn his ban on mask mandates, arguing that the ban puts our children in imminent danger as they headed back to school this week without statewide mask mandates. And in fact, as we all know, as we've talked about it ad nauseum here, you also have districts that have implemented mask mandates, and DeSantis has not only threatened to pull the funding from the schools, but he's threatening to withhold the salaries of the administrators of those counties who let the mask mandates stay in place. Oh, and by the way, also offering vouchers for private schools for any child in a district where there is a mask mandate.
Or as I would say, this is most likely a way to just funnel money into privatization of schools. As we all know, that's all conservatives and Republicans want, remember, guys?
Yeah.
Fucking dipshit.
So you can go to a private school, not have to cover your face on our dime. So, yeah. This guy is intentionally putting children in danger in the state of Florida, much like Abbott in Texas, Asa Hutchinson over in Arkansas. They're all doing a similar version of this. But this lawsuit filed by...
Not just ban mask mandates, but ban masks.
Yep, they're doing that too. But this is the party of... This is the pro-life party, guys, though, remember? But they don't care about you after you're actually born and a kid, for God's sake.
They don't even care about you if you're in the womb, really.
Yep. You're only just pro-COVID, for God's sake. What a bunch of fucking morons.
These parents is a direct challenge to the power of a state governor. This is a big one. This is one that could have ramifications across this country. If these parents are successful in the lawsuit, if they win, that sets the precedent that a governor is not going to be able to override the health, safety, and welfare implementation plans of a city or county or school district.
I think Mike actually talked about this too, and I think he said they don't even have the authority to even do this, so hopefully that's true.
That would be a massive
hopefully they win
in
court, the parents, hopefully.
The country. If they lose, that's a massive win for Republican governors who want to pander to the dumbest people in their states by banning mask mandates.
Which is funny. I don't know why you'd want to even pander to them. Probably a whole bunch were going to be dead very soon, so why would you want to pander to dead people?
It's just
Because here's the thing,
it's
folks.
So that you commit voter fraud.
just a
Even if you
Yeah,
had banned mask mandates, we would still have counties here in the state that didn't put mask mandates in place. They would just make masks voluntary. But DeSantes had to one-up this and say, absolutely not, we're not going to muzzle our children. He actually came here to Northwest Florida yesterday
Wow.
and again reiterated that he is not going to allow these mask mandates to be put in place. And he said, the people best equipped to make those decisions are the parents. Well, sure, if you're talking about whether or not your kid can go play near the street, yeah, that's the parent's decision, right? If you're talking about what the kid has for dinner, the parent gets to make that decision. If you're talking about a deadly pandemic that has killed more than 40,000 people in your state alone, that suddenly is not the parent's choice anymore. That is a public health policy decision.
Yes.
And we can't leave that to tens of millions of different individuals, each making their own decision in this state. That's what's driving me crazy about all this. These people out there saying, I want to have my choice in this. You don't get it. You don't get that choice. Just like you don't get a choice on whether or not you want to drink a fifth of vodka and get behind the wheel.
Great example.
Because it's not just your life that you're endangering. It's everybody else on the road, just like it is with schools. It's not just your child's health, it's everybody's child's health. It's my children's health. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let some idiot right-wing anti-mask, anti-vaxxer do something that's going to put my kids in harm's way.
Sounds like me over have kids.
And another thing, too, is to these idiots, if you just got the vaccine, wore your mask, until this is all over with, you won't have to deal with it anymore. The longer you keep denying this crap and not doing the right thing, just going to make it take longer and longer and longer for you to not be able to go back to normal life. So you're making it harder for you and everyone else.
Yes.
My kids are going to school right now, and they're wearing masks all day. I've sent notes to the teachers. When I pick them up in the afternoons, they still have their masks on. And they're about the only kids that do. And it's unfortunate. It is disgusting. But listen, as a parent with children in Florida schools, I see the decisions that other parents are making for their children. And I am directly impacted by those decisions that those other parents are making for their kids. You can't leave this up to the parents. I hope this lawsuit is successful. I hope Ron DeSantis gets smacked down in every single court this goes in front of if he continues to appeal it if he loses. I hope the legal system is able to protect our children, because clearly Republican government refuses to do that.
Because they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Anyone. They didn't even give a crap about themselves.
Yep, that's why they're just dropping dead, because they refuse to get vaccinated, all that crap. Yeah, hopefully not only does he lose, hopefully he gets his ass out of office in 2022.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
So what do you two have to say about this?
Well, I'm not surprised it's Ron DeSantis. He's a more intelligent Trump.
And that's saying something. So, Harry, anything to say?
No, yeah, basically, the vlog's right though. Like, Ron DeSantis, he's basically a more intelligent Donald Trump. So, and he's only doing all this shit not just for PR and for his base. He's only doing it like in case he runs for president, like in the future. So, yeah, I just want to say this guy is really fucking dangerous, even more so than Trump, because he's obviously smarter. And yeah, basically, Farron sounds like me and Case have if I ever have kids in the future. So yeah, I hope the parents win in this lawsuit because like Ron DeSantis, he's just a piece of shit. So yeah, hopefully they win.
And speaking of him like possibly getting voted out, I can't remember where I heard this from, but right now, according to current polls, he's actually trailing a generic Democrat. So hopefully that momentum will keep up.
That's because of COVID. His poll numbers are down because of COVID. That's why I think. Yeah.
Yep. And the funny thing is, him keeping this stupid charade up longer and longer is going to keep tanking his polls as COVID keeps inflicting the state. So he just keeps digging his own grave like an idiot.
They're just trying to gerrymander his way to victory, or do a Trump and claim the election was stolen.
Yep. So, anything else you all want to say about this?
Not really.
Or what about
I think
the
we got one.
or what about the vaccine stuff you wanted to talk about, Harry, earlier?
Oh, yes, we can move. That would be that would be the perfect thing to move into.
So, Harry, what do you want to talk about then?
No, yeah. So when it comes to the COVID vaccines, recently, like Crystal and Kyle on their show, they mentioned how surprisingly New York City actually is the first city to like do a citywide vaccine mandate. So yeah, I find it interesting because like obviously this sparked up an entire debate on mandates when it comes to the COVID vaccine, and obviously we even heard like Bosch and Charlie Kirk debate this and others, etc. Like, and yeah, obviously in my opinion, like eventually we have to integrate the COVID-19 vaccine just like we do other vaccines when it comes to public schools and stuff. So yeah, we should do this the way we do other vaccines.
Excellent, the ones who won't get the COVID vaccine out of society.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, like, obviously, there's gonna be people who are gonna homeschool their kids because they're anti-vax. But obviously, eventually, we have to like integrate the COVID-19 vaccine with other vaccines when it comes to like enrolling kids in schools and stuff. So, yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, we already do that with a bunch of vaccines in Australia. No jab, no play, quite a few.
I'm quite curious what's the vaccine rate across the country in terms of each state. Last I checked in Maryland, it was just like not even 70%, just one vaccine. It's not even 6% for two of them yet. So I'm wondering how it is for everywhere else.
Yeah, not sure.
That's kind of quite low. I'm actually surprised too for an MD.
Timbo, does your state have a mask mandate or not anymore? Not anymore.
I think for like federal property or state property, but not for like government areas. I mean, not government, like private property or anything like that, like it was before. I mean, I had
fully vaccinated.
Like when we went to the doctor earlier, we had to wear masks. That was the first time in a while for my parents.
Well, I think when you go to the doctor or any medical facility, like it's mandated, like automatically.
Yeah, it's like saying.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We've got in big chunks of Australia due to the Delta variant.
But yeah, you said like New York's the only one that has it right now.
No, actually, Timbo, I looked it up. Like New York City is actually the first city in America to mandated vaccine for like everyone wants to use like for public facilities and stuff, and stuff. So yeah.
So no state.
Apparently. I don't know, not the state, but just the city. But I don't think any other place like did a.
Of the New York population has had at least one dose. Oh wow, 67 in Pennsylvania.
What first dosage?
Yep. Well, hang on, I saw what it said. Massachusetts is 73%.
That's pretty good. I mean, these are obviously blue states or swing states, so I'm pretty sure the red states have the lowest.
Exactly 2/3. I'll give you one. Purple state, Florida, 60%.
Yeah, that's
pretty
even. Ugh. That's for first dosage. Ugh. They need to really pick that up. Like
I'm pretty sure the red states have lower. Like,
of course.
Florida.
I wouldn't be surprised, like, the, Midwest and all of them, probably, I would be surprised if they're, like, 50% maybe. Like, the very rural states.
Idaho, 42%.
That's pretty low, yeah.
43, and Mississippi, 43. Yes,
that's
those
less than
states.
50.
Louisiana, 45, Alabama, 46, Georgia, 48, South Carolina, 48, Indiana, 48, North Dakota, 46.
And you know, now there's four of it. Now there's four of it too. It's not just conservatives that are like not trying to get the vaccine. All who else is too? Blacks.
Who? Black people.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know. I
already know why.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about
because
it.
they don't trust the government because of all past experiments involving that crap to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
So yeah, basically, yeah.
I mean, they still need. You should still take it, but I can't really blame necessarily for feeling that way either. But you still should take it. It's like very important.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Tim, I agree. But the reason they don't do it is because of past racism, like obviously from the government and stuff. But yeah, they should.
At least they have a more valid reason to be nervous or skeptical, unlike conservatives who have absolutely no reason to be skeptical of it.
Yes.
Fucking dumbasses.
Yes.
Man, they probably are going to have to do the mask mandates and all that again.
Yes, definitely.
But of course, conservatives at all costs are going to deny it at all costs, because they're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
Which all I can say, hey, be idiots, keep the pandemic going, make us suffer. Hey, hurry up and drop dead then. That way the country will be much better off without you idiots in our place to stop us from implementing progressive policies.
Yeah.
Alright, so y'all want to talk about this or go to the next topic?
I think we've knocked the vaccine one out of the park. So we'll move on to progressive YouTubers we hate or find annoying.
Alright, well how about you two talk first? These are progressive YouTubers that we find either annoying or hate or whatever. So who wants to go first?
What I find annoying, and Harry's gonna not like this, is Jimmy Dore.
And how come?
God. Okay. So, we know that there probably aren't two left-wing YouTubers who hate each other more than Jimmy Dore and Vorsh. Dore, I find... How do I describe it? He takes... It's like... It almost seems like in many places, he takes the he looks at what the establishment says and just defaults to the opposite. Also, his style's pretty... some of the history Jimmy Dore's got doesn't help. What was I going to say?
You find him irritating, you mean to say his style?
Yeah, that's part of it. His style very annoying at times. I know he's also very unintentionally gotten a bit racist at times. I'm sorry, but you cannot say that calling Ilhan Omar a traitor is racist, even if it's in the context of you thinking that she's a traitor to the progressive movement. You're still using the word. It's unfortunately a bit racist to do it.
Yeah, we make fun of conservatives all the time for saying it to Omar in this show.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, Jimmy, but you are not the best person. You are not the best person to be going on to Tucker Carlson's show.
That it, or
we need someone where, like, when Kyle went on that other show twice, he actually did really well.
Who, Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle.
And how funny, they haven't invited him back on in years now because he embarrassed him so much. Alright, so anyone else? Are you still talking about Jimmy?
I don't really listen a huge amount on others, but there are a couple who I can't remember their names, unfortunately, but I've just seen like one or two videos and they've just rubbed me the wrong way.
Alright, then, Harry, you want to make your case? For progressive YouTubers you find annoying?
Basically, I do understand the vlog's criticisms of Jimmy Dore. Like, obviously, I understand them. Like, I don't disagree a whole lot, but that being said, like in my opinion, I don't know. I just think progressive YouTubers that I find like that I don't like that much. I'd probably say, um, I'd probably say, um, I'd probably say David Pakman because like he's like for progressive, he's not that like he's nowhere near like as aggressive as Kyle. Because like I mean he's like and sometimes he like sounds like he could be like on MSNBC. I mean so I mean pretty much I'd say like David Pakman and like maybe Sam Cedar once in a while. I still like the guy. Like I think he's like but like maybe once in a while Sam Cedar. I feel like he's like too soft to Democrats, and obviously I don't like that sometimes. So yeah, it's pretty much what I.
Anyone
say
else?
Again?
Anyone else?
Basically, let me see. David Pakman, Sam Cedar, and recently probably the Young Turks too. Like I still like Jake and Anna, but like what happened with Kyle and Jimmy, obviously that was like an entire argument that made me like slightly dislike Jake and Anna. So, but I mean, I still like Jake and Anna, but like recently that was a weird debacle when I went with them, which made me a little, skeptical of them. Yeah.
Only thing on that one is that Kyle Pike actually somehow united the Dort stands and the Borch stands in shitting on him.
Alright, well, my list is fucking forever, of course. Perry mentioned Pakman earlier, yeah. I used to like him out, yeah, he's really gotten bad over years. Remember when he actually defended the coup in Bolivia? And Vosh ripped him a new asshole? Yeah, come on, you can't defend that. That was unacceptable, and I can't believe he actually defended it. One thing, I actually unsubscribed to him, it was right after the 2016 DNC convention. I can't remember exactly what he was referring to, but he said something about being like anti-Semitic in some way, in a way that I thought was like the stereotypical, if you criticize Israel, you're anti-Semitic, and like,
Israel genocide, Palestinians, you're a Nazi.
Well, I don't remember exactly what it was because it was 5 years ago, but I thought it was like really silly, so that's why I unsubscribed him. That was really annoying. And of course, we've made fun of him a lot on this show. Vosh, he's really said a lot of very fucking stupid things.
Another one that's the crazy thing is that both Jimmy Dore and Vosh really annoy me.
Yeah, and they make themselves really say a lot of stupid things all the time, and they don't even realize a lot of times how stupid they sound when they criticize each other. And then, of course, I brought up Xander Hall all the time, who's kind of like Vosh, but it's more of his audience that I have a problem with, more of since they shadow banned me on his channel. Because, if you don't vote for Biden, you're a Nazi, and we're not going to allow you to respond back to defend yourself. Which they did to me. And, yeah, some of the people on TYT, especially, oh god, like, years ago when they had, like, all the, like, entertainment media people on there, oh god, that was, like, they were such a bunch of fucking idiot-ass SJWs. They were so stupid. Oh god. I don't know about you guys, but I never really liked Hassan, if you know what I'm talking about, Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I hear him talking, he's usually whiny and moany and comes across like a fucking baby. I swear to God, one time, he was in a debate with Destiny and Carl, Sargon of Akkad, and throughout the entire debate, whatever, a whole bunch of other people, he and Carl went at multiple times in it, and believe it or not, as much as Carl made a fool of himself, I think in terms of most people, he would have won over Hassan because Hassan was being such a fucking crybaby throughout. It was so stupid and pathetic of him. When you make Carl look good in a debate, you know you done screwed up. Like, come on. Like, that is just so terrible. And of course, oh god, Steve, Destiny. The guy has an irrational hatred for leftists now. He doesn't even support Bernie anymore. He supported Booty.
No, Destiny is not a leftist anymore. He's not a leftist.
He supported Booty Judge, Biden, Kamala. He supported anyone but Bernie. And he has an irrational hatred of anyone on the left. Like, you remember his irrational hatred of Kyle?
Yeah. Well, that's because he got embarrassed by Kyle, so...
And Hassan, too! So when you lose to Hassan, too, that's pretty embarrassing. And, of course, a lot of other dumb leftists on YouTube that I don't remember off the top of my head because they really, a lot of ways, sound like SJW woke-tards that just come across really as just hating white men, basically. And they go... And a lot of times, I know conservatives think are wrong to think it's the vast majority of leftists, but a lot of times their stereotypes are true. A lot of times you guys do act like the stereotype, and it's absolutely disgusting. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. So, I think we've gone through all that, so now what?
Let's do Copmala being a total failure.
Oh yeah, let me go find a video. So, so anyways, Copmala being the vice president, she has the worst polling of a vice president in a long time, as Kyle's covered recently. Oh my god. She's like, God, I think she has like less than 40% support. It's so bad. She can't stop making a fool of herself. She's shitting the bed just like she did in the primaries last year. It was so awesome how bad she is. As I try and find the video, anything y'all want to say about her while I find it?
Oh, no idea.
I found it. And there's a worry because remember, there is a possibility that maybe she runs in 2024 instead of Biden, instead of him going for a second term. So, regardless of how we feel about her, she is a threat to us and we have to take her down. But this is just really bad. It's her polling and how she's ran is so bad that even the establishment Democrats are terrified.
Kamala Harris is back in the news and it's not looking pretty for her. Kamala Harris has become the most unpopular U.S. vice president 6 months into administration since at least the 1970s, according to polls. Alarmed Democrat strategists are grappling with the vice president's floundering poll numbers, which show she is now underwater, meaning more Americans disapprove than approve of her job performances. The White House intends...
Yeah, she's the least popular vice president 6 months into administration since the 70s. Think about that, like 40 plus years ago. That's how bad she is. Like Pence, he was a piece of shit. He had more approval than Trump by a massive amount. Biden, when he was vice president Obama, he had massive approval. Oh God, even Cheney had a bigger approval rating than Bush, for God's sake. Like, come on! How bad you have to be worse than those clowns?
Employ her only in certain areas of the campaign at next year's congressional elections, and will attempt to raise her profile by sending her on foreign trips in the coming months. The disappointing first months of her term have also worried long-term strategists, many of whom had hoped she would run for president as early as the next election. Two recent polls both showed 46% of Americans approve of Ms. Harris, with 47% and 48% disapproving. I think this is an economist's YouGov poll. They continue here. The only recent vice president to have similarly poor ratings after 6 months was Mike Pence, but he was not underwater. According to Gallup, 42.1% approved of Mr. Pence's performance at that point, and 44.9% disapproved. The previous vice president, Mr. Biden, had an approval rating above 50% after 6 months. Before that, Dick Cheney and Al Gore were in the 60s at that same stage. Even Dan Quayle, the much-mocked vice president of George H.W. Bush, was nowhere not underwater. I guess we'll say nowhere near underwater after 6 months. He had an approval rating of 43% and disapproval of just 22%, with 34% undecided. Mr. Bush himself was a popular vice president under Ronald Reagan, as was his predecessor Walter Mondale, who became Jimmy Carter's vice president in 1976. So they also go on to explain, by the way, one of the more concerning numbers about Kamala is that only 36% of young people have a favorable view of her.
Yeah, we don't like her because she's a neo-lib piece of shit. And we have brains unlike the old fucks, for God's sake. Oh God, I remember, back like in 2019-20, when she was running, I remember my parents even liked her for some stupid reason. Oh my God, it was so disgusting.
It's because she's a woman.
It's not that, they just appeal, she's a piece of shit, but she appealed to like boomers for basically, she doesn't appeal to us.
For a Democratic candidate, potential Democratic candidate. So, she's in trouble, and people are sort of flipping out, understandably, because right now, whether or not any of us like it, and I know that most of you of this show don't like it, she is the heir apparent to the Biden throne, because politics, to a large extent, politics is name recognition. And so she will have name recognition more so than most other Democratic contenders in 2024 if she were to run, or 2028. And with that more name recognition comes the default lead. I mean, we even saw it. She even was, among the top candidates when she launched the last time in 2020. Granted, she was pretending to be like Bernie early on, and then the second she showed her true colors as a milquetoast corporate neoliberal, her numbers plummeted. She made her campaign all about banning Trump from Twitter, and then everybody started hating her. But she will, yet again, in 2024, 2028, depending on what happens with Biden, she will be one of the leaders. And now even Democratic strategists are like, if that's the case, we're fucked. Because she's not dynamic, she's not charismatic. The more people see her, the more they dislike her. Sort of similar to the Hillary Clinton dynamic. And they fear, they're not saying this part out loud, but I'll say this part out loud because this is what I fear. Yeah, if you have Trump in 2024 and he's got that rabid fan base, then the question becomes, is the anti-Trump sentiment still strong enough to basically make it so Americans pick any candidate but Trump? And that's a coin toss, man. I really don't know. If the Democratic candidate effectively stands for nothing, is coming off of a lackluster time as vice president, is not well liked, I would be terrified of that scenario. I would be terrified. At least if you have Mike Pence versus Kamala Harris, it's like two robot insider corporatists versus each other. But if you have Trump versus Kamala
Harris versus any Republican in the history of the world, and should lose every state.
She probably would have the better chance though against like Pence and something like that because they're like religious fundamentalists, and that scares them more than surprisingly Trump.
Oh my God, I have no faith in Kamala's ability. Like, I think her and her staffers would overthink the shit out of everything, would be way too insular, and They could easily lose. They could easily lose. Now, having said that, it's also possible the opposite happens.
Against any Republican.
Could be Trump versus Kamala. It is possible that anti-Trump sentiment is still strong enough for people who are like, anyway, but Trump. Because they did pick half-dead Joe Biden over Donald Trump. So you never know. Like, I'm very humble in the sense that I understand forecasting is a very difficult thing, and you can only do it so far out. We're way too far out to make any accurate predictions. But do I think these numbers mean something? That Kamala's not popular at all? Yeah, I do. Do I think this means something mixed in with the fact that Trump's base didn't abandon him and he's outraising the entire Republican Party right now? Yeah, I do. So people are concerned, and I think they're right to be concerned. And what the Democratic establishment doesn't understand is that you need somebody who at least pretends to be more than just another politician. And that even that vision is gone. Like Barack Obama, even though he was effectively, a status quo manager and he was a tweets around the edges kind of guy, he at least pretended to be more than that and to have vision. And that's what leads Democratic voters to fall in love with the candidate. And in the case of Kamala, it's like Biden started Biden back to normal, barely. But for Kamala, that message isn't going to be strong enough, and means another politician is not strong enough, and she appears to be only capable of that. And the final point is, I will say some of this is by design, though, because the Biden administration took like one of the more unpopular issues and just dumped it on Kamala's lap. And I think they did that strategically. I think Biden did that strategically to protect his own numbers, where he said, hey, the border, cool. Kamala's responsible for all that now, give it all to her. And so this way now they don't attack Biden for border stuff, they attack Kamala for border stuff. And there was no winning on that front. You couldn't come up with policies that would appease everybody and make everybody happy. So I think it's sort of by design that this happened, but that doesn't mean the numbers aren't real. There's real as a heart attack.
And that is why, too, why I said him picking Harris as his VP was the absolute worst choice. If you wanted to succeed, you needed to pick someone like Bernie, and it ain't fucking debatable. But, of course, they don't care about that. They'd rather lose, as we all know that.
Yep, they're paid to lose.
But if what I pointed out, Voice and his audience get very, very, very mad at me for some reason.
Yeah.
So we gotta say about this, that she's a piece of shit, as we all knew from the very start.
Yeah, it's a bit... Look, Kamala Harris can somehow lose to anybody. She's paid to lose.
And that is why, whatever she runs, 2024, 2028, or whenever, we have to do like Tulsi Gabbard did. Oh, even when I point this out, they won't even give her credit for that on Bosch's side. But we need to absolutely browbeat her to death, for God's sake, like she did. We need to absolutely crush her, because we can't have her be the Democratic nominee. She is going to lose. Like, come on. So, Harry, anything you want to say about this?
Yeah. No, honestly, the way I see it, I think the reason Kamala Harris has such a low approval rating is because I think people see like that she's fake. That's why that she has such a low approval rating. But not only that, like the way I see it, like I'm not sure. I feel like in 2024 or 2028, like if she were the Democratic nominee, and I hope she's not, but like if she were, I feel like she would only lose to like Donald Trump or Ron DeSantes. Like I feel like she might have a chance against another Republican. But like honestly, if she's up against like Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump, she's never gonna lose. Obviously, because like those guys can easily like pretend to be like right wing populists and beat her like in a general.
Yeah.
As we saw with Hillary back in 2016. But like pretty much. So I feel like she could defeat another Republican, just not like Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis. Meaning, I feel like she might have a chance against Mike Pence, because Mike Pence is more of a theocrat who scares like more moderate voters and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, so yeah.
All right. So now, what do you want to talk about next?
Okay, what do we got next? Oh yeah, Nina lost.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. So Nina Turner, who ran Bernie Sanders' campaign in 2016, I guess 20. She's an awesome progressive who actually ran for a Congress in Ohio just the last week or so. And she ran against Sherrod Brown. I can't remember her fucking name. She is just a neoliberal cunt.
Chantel Brown.
Yeah, close enough. But she's a neoliberal cunt, and she's a disgusting, lying, corrupt piece of shit. And unfortunately, she won over Nina. And of course, unfortunately, I've seen leftists and, of course, other, like, neolib retards on Twitter blaming, honestly, the wrong reasons why she lost. And, oh, God, Kyle did a video on, and the response I got is so disgusting why I find it. So, anyways, the excuses I found, you have, people that I'm saying, she's too far left. She's an anti-Semite because she criticizes Israel. No, that's not why she lost.
She's not an anti-Semite because she is not a Nazi because she opposes the far-right Israeli government genociding the Palestinians.
And then, she said vote for Biden's like eating a half bowl of shit, and that's just bad. You idiot. She did vote for Biden. even if you buy the argument that Biden's better than Trump and you vote for him, you can't deny the fact that he is a piece of shit. You cannot deny that. But of course, these idiots do deny that. Oh my God. And then you have we have to only blame Dorr because he told people not to vote for her. Like he has any sort of influence on the very small Ohio district that they're voting in. Like it was only like not even like I think 50,000 people or so voting on it. Do you really think he had that much of an influence? I think you're just having Dorr derangement syndrome. No, there's only one reason why she lost. And that was because at the end of her race, she was outfunded. It was corruption and money. Like, God, like the last week or so, there was over $2 million worth of campaigns against her, for God's sake, by one PAC, too! One PAC donated like $2 million against her, for God's sake. And no one seems to bring this up. So here's Kyle's video.
Nina Turner lost her race against Chantel Brown in Ohio's 11th district.
Oh, yeah, and wait, that's another thing, too. I forgot. Even, like, Sahil, the progressive voice, believes this stupid thing, which I find retarded how he can fix this, but he blames Bernie for her loss. He thinks her getting Bernie's endorsement hurt her. Like, how the hell would that hurt her? He's popular across the country. Like, get out of here.
The reason why she lost is very simple. There was a colossal infusion of corporate money at the end of the campaign, and it buried her. It buried her. What that money was able to buy in the final stretch of the campaign was well-timed lies. That's what that money bought. So let me give you just a little sampling of what Nina's team was dealing with in the home stretch of this campaign. So there's an article in The Intercept titled, "In the Race Against Nina Turner, GOP donors fund Chantel Brown." GOP donors. With 1 week left in the Ohio primary, Republican donors have picked her Democrat, the pro-Israel PAC supporting her.
Oh yeah, and this is another thing too that no one seems to point out. Republicans donated to Chantel Brown too. To a freaking Democrat getting Republican money. Doesn't that make you feel disgusting that Republicans would donate to a Democrat? Like, come on! That should be like a red flag. You don't ever support these pieces of shit. God, this is literally exactly what the Maryland Democratic Party did to Ben Jealous. They donated and supported Larry Hogan over him, for God's sake.
So some Republican donors hopped in super late, but you also had some big PACs jump in well before the final week. It was probably in the last month or two. So here's the biggest thing that led to Nina's defeat. Democratic Majority for Israel, a hybrid PAC, super PAC that has spent $1.2 million on ads supporting Brown and opposing Turner in the election, also had a slew of donors who have made ample donations for Republican candidates and causes. So they hopped in and spent $1.2 million on ads. They say supporting Brown and opposing Turner, but it was mostly opposing Nina Turner. So in a second, I'll get to the stuff that money bought, but let me paint the picture for you a little more when it comes to the dollar figures that we're talking about. Daniel Marin said, with an update from Dem Action PAC, pro-Turner super PAC, the totals for either side are either pro-Turner or anti-Brown, 904,000. Either pro-Brown or anti-Turner, about 2.7 million.
So guys, the money that was either pro-Turner or anti-Brown, it was just 904,000. Do you know how much money it was to be pro-Chantel Brown or anti-Nina Turner? Almost $3 million.
Holy crap!
So yeah, money has a massive factor in that regard, and the fact that no one seems to talk about that is absolutely stunning. They want to blame others for her defeat.
So, you do the math on that. That is a huge difference. And by the way, with Nina, it was more spread out over time for the entire campaign. With Chantel Brown, it was focused towards the end of the campaign. She was lagging way early on, and then Hillary Clinton jumped in, a bunch of corporate Democrats jumped in, Jim Clyburn jumped in, big corporate money jumped in, Republican money jumped in at the end, and they did a well-timed surge, and they did vicious lying attack at it again that we're going to get to. So the other thing you can see there is Third Way shells out another $255,000 on digital ads opposing Nina Turner in Ohio 11 special, bringing their total investment to $505,000. So Third Way, the corporate Democrat group, was spending $500,000 against Nina Turner toward the end of the campaign. The total outside spending of Nina Turner, Chantel Brown, stuff has galloped past $3.5 million.
Oh yeah, $3.5 billion instead of $2.7 million to Nina's $904,000. God, this reminds me just like with Ben Jealous. He had only $600,000 to run for governor of Maryland 2018. Larry Hogan got over $10 million from out of state.
All right, some more. Here's the chart that I want to show you guys. Check out the bag dropping. Ahead of tomorrow's Ohio 11 primary. DMFI has spent more opposing Nina Turner than nearly all other outside spending.
And speaking of which, let me go get the screenshot for you all to see. Let me post this in general. Look at the amount of money that was spent. Look at that.
Bloody hell.
All that green and yellow, all that green and blue were all anti-Nina. That whole entire mark was all against her.
Combined. Look at that chart. So DMFI PAC, so that's the Israeli PAC, they're blowing everybody else out of water, and most of those ads are anti-Nina Turner negative ads, not really pro-Chantel Brown ads. So they just drowned everybody out and blamed the airwaves and carpet bombed the people of Ohio's 11th district with flat-out lies about Nina Turner. So, again, just to give you a taste of what we were dealing with in the home stretch of this election, you have this. So here's some mailers that went out. Raise the minimum wage. They say Nina Turner's against it. Universal health care, they say Nina Turner's against it. Immigration reform, they say Nina Turner's against it. So they're just flat out lying about her. They're lying about her because she criticized the Democratic platform. Because she said it doesn't go far enough. It doesn't give us Medicare for all. It doesn't give us universal health care. And we went through the list of the other things that it didn't do. I mean, there were a number of things that were layups that Democrats left out of their platform, including, by the way, human rights for Palestinians, a condemnation of illegal settlements, conditioning the money to Israel to say, hey, you guys got to abide by international law, or else you're not going to get subsidies from us, you're not going to get weapons deals from us. Nina took a stand and said this doesn't have universal health care for all, this doesn't have protections for Palestinians, so I'm against it from the left. So they just come out and lie about it and say she's against raising minimum wage, even though she was the one who introduced that, by the way, and she's against universal health care, she's against immigration reform. Nonsense. So these are lies. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And now let me show you one of the ads that was just...
Oh yeah, here's the ad. Listen how stupid this bunch of crap is. Come on, play.
Absolutely pounding Nina in the final month or so of this campaign.
Country is more polarized than ever, and Nina Turner is no help. Unify Democrats? Turner said no. Support Clinton over Trump? Not Nina Turner. Help Biden defeat Trump? Turner refused. Instead, Turner said voting for Biden was like eating... Turner even voted no on the entire Democratic platform, rejecting Biden's plan to build on Obamacare. Nina Turner for Congress? No thanks.
All lies.
Responsible for the content of this advertising.
Everything's a lie.
Every single piece of that is incredibly misleading, or it's a lie. So, just to give one example here, the voting for Biden's like eating a bowl of shit comment.
Here it is.
In its full context, what she says is Donald Trump is a full bowl of shit and Joe Biden is a half bowl of shit. And sure, if you're told, would you rather eat full bowl of shit or the half bowl of shit? Of course, you can take the half bowl or the full bowl, but would it be nicer if we didn't have to eat bullshit? Completely reasonable comment, especially given the facts of Joe Biden's record. And this is what Nina Turner points out all the time. He voted for the Patriot Act, which is illegal, unconstitutional spying on all Americans. He voted for that. He voted for the Iraq War, which led to hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians dying. He voted for various outsourcing deals that gutted America's middle class, including the black population in this country got decimated by a lot of our trade deals. He supported the...
Yeah, that's another funny thing, too. The black community always votes for the Democrats that actually undermine them, too. Haven't you noticed that? That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of times you guys are the enemies of your own selves. That's why you need to vote for progressives.
Feingold wrote part of the crime bill, I believe, where, it was far too punitive, and he was a drug warrior, and he locked up many young minorities who should have been locked up. It cracked down more on these victimless crimes. That's a terrible idea. He supported and maybe even wrote part of the bankruptcy bill, which made it so that students couldn't file for bankruptcy on student loan debts, so they're just stuck with it forever. The list goes on and on of how his voting record is that of a modern Republican. And so Nina Turner comes along and says, I don't want a full Republican or a half Republican. I don't want a 100% Republican or a diet Republican. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a Democrat? Wouldn't it be nice if we had somebody who represented the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party? That was her argument. And they take it out of context and they spin it to try to make it seem like she's on the side of Republicans.
And also, like I said, she voted for Biden, you dipshits.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of the stuff they say is just like, she doesn't want to build on Obamacare. The definition of building on Obamacare would be go from Obamacare to a public option to eventually Medicare for all. That's exactly what Nina Turner wants to do. But they spin it and they twist it. And so when that ad runs day after day after day after day after day towards the end of this campaign, all the late breakers went to Chantel Brown. And by the way, with just some preliminary data now, so this isn't set in stone, but some preliminary data is that in the more white precincts, they show up strong for Chantel Brown. It looked like the black vote was roughly split. And then in the white precincts, the upper middle class precincts, they came out for Chantel Brown. So this is, yet again, the suburbs strikes back. I mean, listen, not going to sugarcoat it, y'all. It's devastating. It's devastating. So what do we take away from this? Because Nina Turner had like a 40-point lead at one point, 30 or 40-point lead at one point, and it was only like 2 or 3 months ago that was the case. The big takeaway, and this isn't going to be earth-shattering breaking news anyway, but the big takeaway is that money wins elections. Big money wins elections. So, I mean, the number one takeaway should be, if you're not talking about campaign finance reform, you're not serious.
Another thing, too, is maybe they honestly probably shouldn't have even pointed out that poll that Nina showed where she had like a 40-point lead on Chantel. That would definitely scared the shit out of them to react and stop her. They probably should have kept that a secret until like the very end where it wouldn't have mattered.
Because,
and also, polls months out in advance are not really good indicator of what's going to happen. For crying out loud.
If Chantel Brown didn't have all of this Republican money, big oil money, multinational corporate money, corporate Democrat money, pro-Israel money, if she didn't have all that come in at the last minute in the final month or two, she would have lost by 15 or 30 points. No doubt about it. Not a question. Not a question. So that's the big takeaway, is that kind of corrupt buying of an election. It should be illegal. It should absolutely be illegal. And unfortunately, we live in a country where the Supreme Court, from the late 1970s until today, in a variety of decisions, they basically decided money equals free speech, so it's perfectly legal for corruption to happen in this country, for legalized bribery to happen in this country. And all these special interests basically bought Chantel Brown's seat. And by the way, Chantel Brown, when she gets to Washington, that's exactly who she's going to represent. In her speech, she thanked, like Israeli brothers and sisters or something along those lines. And she was saying that particularly because of the Israeli PAC that spent the most money, which bought her the seat. So now you're not going to have anybody who represents justice or peace in Israel-Palestine. You're going to have somebody who's incredibly biased and will overlook wanton violations of international law and human rights. So, I mean, this is a real systemic problem that we're dealing with here. The issue of money in politics. So campaign finance reform needs to be top of the list, but there are other takeaways too. Like, for example, the left needs to get serious about institutions and small money contributions. Unfortunately, what happens is when the left creates institutions, they become the professional left, and the professional left loses touch with what they're supposed to be. Like we just saw happen with our revolution, where now they rebrand it as like pragmatic progressive or some shit like that. The fuck is that? That means we've been in Washington too long, and we no longer believe in vision. We no longer believe that better things are possible. Now we want to split the difference and do what we think is possible within the context of Washington and how politics works now. That's a terrible idea. And so that means there is no institutional left.
Which a lot of ways the squad is doing too.
Are they fighting as hard as they should be fighting? No. Do they have wins every now and then? Absolutely. We're going to get to one in a little bit. Cory Bush delivered on the eviction moratorium. Huge bet.
And by the way, we're actually going to get to that very soon. Talking about that.
Let's not kill ourselves. The institutional left is watered down. It becomes milquetoast the second it becomes institutional. So what you need to do is find a way to create an institutional left that stays true to its principles and its founding. And so you need an institutional left and you need small money contributions that are serious and organized. Now, Nina Turner did okay in fundraising, but as I described, it was spread out over the entire campaign, and it turned out that was a very, very big strategic error with how they spent it. This is probably the only thing I would say that Nina Turner's people did wrong. Like, there's maybe one or two things they did wrong, and everything else they did right. And the fact of the matter is, what ended up happening with Chantal Brown, which I don't even think was necessarily on purpose, because nobody paid attention to her early on, she was nobody, and she was polling at nothing. But what happened is they jumped in the last minute, Hillary Clinton endorsed her, there was a slew of corporates that came out of the woodwork to support her, big money supporter, and then it was very, very focused in the final stretch of the campaign, where they did an ad list, and so all the late breakers went to Chantal Brown. Maybe there's something to be said about the wisdom of that, even though I think it was accidental for Chantal Brown, that really you should keep your powder dry until the final stretch of any election, when it matters the most. Because toward the end, they were struggling a little bit. In terms, people were struggling a lot more than Chantal Brown's people were because they were flush with big money. Now, the Turner doesn't take big money, so she's at an institutional disadvantage. But maybe take some of those $1 donations and make sure you have it for the most important period, which is just before the election. So I think that's an incredibly important takeaway that not many people are going to have in response to this. And then the other point is, listen, you have to fight fire with fire. You have to. So I would implement a rule of 2-to-1 on negative ads. For every negative ad that they run against you, you run 2 back against them. And it's a way to incentivize certain kind of campaign.
Unfortunately, a lot of lefties and liberals just don't do that, sadly. They're not willing to go to the gut like we are. And right-wingers are.
Listen, and I'm like this in my personal life, I'm like this on the show, everybody understands this. I'm a counterpuncher. I don't go on the offense. I'm a pro the first punch. I'm a counterpuncher. The only time I'm going to come after somebody is if I feel like they come after me and it's unfair, and then I'm going to respond. So if someone wants to have a campaign focus on the issues, I'm 100% going to have a campaign focus on the issues. Because I think the issues, what we believe on the merits, is strong enough on its own. So we don't need to go into the gutter. But if the other side crosses us, and the big side go to the gutter, okay, you can play that game. Now I'm going to hit you twice as hard, and twice as much. And so we can incentivize a more pure campaign. But if they don't want to have a pure campaign, and they want to get in the gutter, then I'm going to fucking beat you in that game too. So every time they run a negative ad, or they lie, you run a negative ad. Now thankfully, our negative ad can be truthful, because there's enough there, you can attack them on the truth and you win. So I would implement a rule like that. So they're running negative ad, they're smearing, lying, okay, we'll just play that game, I'm going to run ads all over the place about how Chantal Brown just funneled $17 million to her boyfriend because she's corrupt. There's 1,000 things about Chantal Brown that we can point out about how she's an insider, and she's playing the game for her own narcissism and careerism, and she's just another politician who's going to keep the status quo going as people are suffering. And so, again, we don't have to lie, we can tell the truth, but I would have some vicious ads that go right to the jugular. So that's another thing I would do, is I would make sure I fight fire with fire, I time the ads better. But listen, I don't want to be critical of the intern, because here's the heartbreaking reality. She did nothing wrong. Maybe a couple minor tweets would help her, but she did nothing wrong. The fact of the matter is, this seat was bought by all of the late ad spending, by the millions and millions of dollars of a cash infusion that went to Chantal Brown to malign and smear and denigrate a working class hero like Nina Turner. So big money buys elections. That's the bottom line. That's the main takeaway. So even though this stings, even though this hurts, at least we have our answers. And at least we know that we need to adjust moving forward in some very specific ways. And then also, I just want to stress this point because the initial reaction is perfectly understandable, perfectly reasonable. Everybody has this initial reaction when it happens. When you see something like this, you say, well, what the fuck is the point? Like, what the fuck is the point? Why are we wasting our time? You have to fight the urge to get nihilistic and complacent. You have to do it. Because guess what? That's exactly what they want. The establishment loves that. The establishment banks on that. They bank on what I like to call self-disenfranchisement, where people get so turned off by the system and so cynical about the system that they throw their hands in the air and they say, fuck it, we're done here. We're done. We're not gonna participate in the system anymore. Well, you just hand them the biggest gift you can ever hand them. And what you need to do is try to tap into that gear that only, a lot of the goats have, the greatest of all time have, where when the going gets tough, you're actually able to fight harder, to rededicate yourself, and to really put your nose to the grindstone and get to fucking work. That needs to be the reaction that you have. The reaction needs to be, oh, well, we're going to make for shit sure this never happens again. That has to be the reaction. Now, by the way, it is going to happen again. It absolutely is going to happen again. And, there are people who run for office 6, 7, 8 times before they get elected, but eventually, you elect Cory Bush.
Fucking Biden, remember? He was a piece of shit. He ran 1988 for president. He lost. He ran 2008. He lost. He ran 2020. He fucking won. Remember Bernie? When he ran for mayor in Burlington, he tried like 3 or 4 times and he lost. He kept trying and he fucking won. You have to keep trying no matter what.
Lost when she ran the first time. She maybe lost the second time. Correct me if I'm wrong. But eventually, she won.
Oh yeah, that's right too, Corey. She lost her first election and she pulled off a massive comeback the second time to win. She was like down 10 points at one point on election night. And no, that wasn't like leading up to election. That was election night. She was down like 10, 20 points. Like she was done for. Then she made a massive comeback to win it. That's why you got to keep trying.
So, you never give up and you fight on and you don't offer answers.
Where he was way behind in like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and then he came back and won all 4 states.
Like 80% of it is just continuing to show up. 80% of it is continuing to show up. So you fight on and you don't give up. And listen, I just want to stress this too. I don't care how you get involved, just get involved. I don't care how. If you want to work on specific single issue advocacy, good on you. In fact, I think that's probably the most potent way to fight and the way to get the most change you can as fast as you can. If you want to be involved in organizing workers and unionization, love it. That's another great way to get immediate results, is to get involved in that kind of way. If you want to work with third parties, I don't think that's the most effective approach, but it doesn't matter if I don't think it's the most effective approach. At least you're doing something. And maybe we get to a point where there's enough of a coalition with other third parties who can band together and really do a force of nature, and we can push the establishment in the same way that there were outside socialist communists who were able to push FDR. So even though it's not my cup of tea in the sense that I think probably one of the most effective ways to get involved, that doesn't matter. I still support you doing it, and I want you to do it, because getting involved in that way is better than doing nothing. And you want to build solidarity, and you want a coalition build, and however you want to get involved, you should get involved. For the love of God, get involved, because if you don't, well, then they're guaranteed destruction. So, again, I know it works, but you have to keep everything in context and perspective. And I just want to say to everybody there are people who are blaming third parties for these laws. I don't understand that argument at all.
Oh yeah, that was another thing too. Because it wasn't just those two running. There was like at least 10 people in total running, and they blamed all of them for her loss. Like they have any sort of impact on her losing. And I actually counted it up last I checked. Even if they voted all for Nina, she still would have lost. So again, it wouldn't have mattered, you dumb fucks. All that mattered was the money.
Parties are happy with Nina losing. I don't think anybody who would be the Green Party or whatever other third party would say, of course I prefer Nina Turner to John Brown. So I don't understand that take. But I also don't understand the take of third party people saying, well, see, this is why you got to go by Democrats. You think if Nina Turner ran as a Green, Nina Turner ran as an independent, Nina Turner ran as somebody's Liberal Party or some other socialist party or whatever, that she would have done better in the election? I don't want to be an asshole, but that's one of the things I've heard. Instead of losing by 5 or 8 or whatever number that she's going to end up losing by, she would have lost by like 30 or 40 if you ran in any other context. So, listen, again, I'm not taking a shot. If you believe in that approach and you want to be involved in the third party stuff, by all means, God bless, I'm happy you're doing something. That's way better than doing nothing. But don't kid yourself about the efficacy of doing that. If you want to be honest about fighting on that front, you have to say this is a multi-decade project. At the minimum. Don't be honest about it.
Also find about Jimmy Water. This is insistence on the third party option.
When we gotta do both.
Anybody thinks anything else in response to this? Because the fact of the matter is, even though there were minor changes that needed to be
in the current system, once we get enough in, we can reform the system, then you can have third parties in as well.
save more money for the end. Go to a for negative ads. There were little tweaks she could have made. The fact of the matter is, she did almost everything she could have done. 97% of the stuff she did was totally correct. And she ran a phenomenal campaign. She even was able to get, endorsements of people who are in Ohio state politics. She had groups who came in and endorsed her. She had these big campaign rallies. So she did everything right. The fact of the matter is, big money buys elections, and big money won this election. It's that simple. A colossal infusion of corporate cash at the end, very limited term. It was big money plus well-timed lies blanking the airwaves. And the other thing they were able to do is pull those partisan strings. Pull those partisan strings for these old-school partisan Democrats. And that ad talked about Nina saying voting for Biden was like eating bullshit, even though it's misleading, even though it's taken out of context, even though they're effectively lying. That's one of the reasons why she won. Because it worked. When you repeatedly smear for that over and over, run in the ads, a lot of older Democrats were like, she's not a Democrat, and their partisan tribal loyalty started kicking in. And that's a problem. There's two ways to approach this. Either you work on a long-term project of getting people to be less partisan. That's what I've chosen to do on the show. I want people for themselves and not have blind loyalty to anything, right? So that's one way to approach this. That's a long-term project, admittedly, but that's the path I chose because I think it's true, and I should fight for the truth. The other strategy that some people might consider is you can still hold on to all of your same policy beliefs. You can still have the exact kind of fight that we need in order to get the change that we need, and you basically change nothing about your agenda, but you just reel it in a little bit with the vituperative over-the-top criticism that would stoke the partisan loyalty of the tribalism. So there's only two ways you can really approach that, and it's on each individual candidate to determine what they want to do, but, it is what it is. And I feel a little weird making this criticism or giving this breakdown because if they're going to lie about it, they're doing that, and that's what it is, they lie about it. And it's not like if she said the right thing or she didn't say that, somehow they come up with some bullshit to smear her with an ad. Of course they would. So ultimately, again, it comes back to the very same point that money still buys elections. It was corporate cash infusion, big money plus well-timed lies, and that married Nina Turner. And she understands this too, but you can't keep up the fight. Don't get nihilistic, don't get complacent. It's exactly what they want. And you inadvertently become the establishment's best friend if you do that. If you become so cynical you want to undercut any and all progress or any and all attempts to fight it, well, the very least you can do is just step aside and let other people who want to get into the fight. But how do you train that instinct in yourself to, when you do lose, your immediate reaction?
And sadly, a lot of people, like Door too, did say that. Don't even bother voting for Turner and all that, which, like, what the fuck?
Why?
Yeah. But at the same time, you can't blame him for her loss because he does not have the influence to do that. It was all just money.
Let's get back to the drawing board. Let's fucking figure this out. Let's crack the code. Let's adjust and let's win. Let's win. Let's do it. So those are the words of encouragement that I have for everybody. I mean, the positive way of looking at it is that Bernie got kind of destroyed in that district, and Nina way outperformed Bernie in that district, and that's with the absolute onslaught of negative ads and smearing against him. So that's one way to look at it. Even though it feels right now like we're out in the wilderness, that's what they want you to feel. They want you to feel fractured. They want you to feel factionalized. They want you to feel like the project can never work. Big money is a powerful thing, and so it's giving you that illusion, but it's always impossible until it's done. And now that I give you bad news, hang tight because in an upcoming segment, I have news that's equally as good. So prepare for that.
And another thing too is, I haven't watched it yet, but Mike covered a video about Nina, and she might, I haven't watched it, so don't take what I'm saying as truth, but she might be running for some other form of government very soon next year, maybe. I haven't watched the video yet, so I have no idea yet, so I'll have to see about that. But yeah, what do y'all guys say about this?
It sucks, but it shows that money does work.
Anything to say, Harry?
Yeah, pretty much that. Obviously, the reason Nina Turner lost was because of corporate money, not because of the People's Party or Jimmy Dore or Bernie. Like, that's fucking bullshit.
Or all the lies that or all the lies about her and the third parties and all that crap. Or she was too left and all that crap. It's just anti-Semitic. Alright.
Timbo, is Nia running for like Ohio Senate for the U.S. Senate or something? I don't know.
I have no idea. All I just saw was Mike's video on, but it didn't say exactly what it was, and I haven't watched it yet.
The only options are either governor of Ohio or United States Senator for Ohio. I don't know. Like, we'll see.
Hopefully, and hopefully she would win. All right, maybe Kyle actually talked about it too, because that was the next video. And I guess we'll talk about the eviction crisis.
Yeah.
As I'm about to go get it right now. So of course y'all remember. What you're saying, Harry?
Oh, so the eviction moratorium, right? Like that, like.
Yep. That unfortunately got ended, but thanks to Cori Bush, it was actually extended for a little bit. All thanks to her pressure and Biden. Now, where's that stupid video? I'll talk about it. Why is it not showing?
Yeah, she did a good thing. I think she literally like.
There we go! Finally.
In order to convince Biden to like extend the eviction moratorium so people don't get kicked out of their houses, that's a good thing. Obviously, I still think the squad they don't do enough, unfortunately. But that was a good thing. But I mean, come on, she was asked about forced to vote by Max Blumenfeld on the gray zone, and she wouldn't answer that. I'm sorry, but that's kind of BS. She wouldn't answer
it is. But this one is really damn good, and this is something we need to criticize both people that defend and criticize the squad about.
We actually notched a gigantic victory. Cori Bush fought, and Cori Bush won on the eviction moratorium. So let me give everybody the backstory of this, and I'll read you a little snippet. Cori Bush said, I'm going to sleep on the steps of the Capitol, and I'm basically going to be homeless as long as I have to be homeless in order to bring back the federal eviction moratorium, which basically ran out. There was also a Supreme Court decision that said a number of things about how, hey, you can't really do this, the president can't really do this, the CDC can't really do this on their own, it needs to be enacted in Congress. So Cori Bush camped out and said, I'm not leaving until somebody does something. And I think the idea was get Congress to do it. Congress didn't do it, and apparently Nancy Pelosi was adamant that it wasn't on them. And she ended up forcing Biden's hand, and Biden did act, even though originally he was saying, I don't have the authority to act. So let me read you a little bit on it.
Oh yeah, how about that? He said he had no authority to do it, but he actually did. What a lying piece of shit.
Which is good at least.
Well, what a lying piece of shit, though, am I right?
This is a really, really interesting story. Senators received control information on Tuesday and issued a moratorium on evictions targeting areas of the country with high levels of COVID-19 transmission, extending the eviction ban for much of the nation just days after a blanket moratorium had expired. The CDC order applies to counties experiencing significant levels of virus spread, which is defined by the agency as 50 to 100 cases per 100,000 people. A congressional source said the order will likely apply to roughly 90% of the renter population in the U.S. The order will expire on October 3rd. It was issued after days of back and forth between the White House and congressional Democrats over who was responsible for extending the moratorium, while scores of Americans face uncertainty about potential removal from their homes. So, Biden says, literally, I think a day before the moratorium ran out, he said, man, Congress should really do something about this. Congress came out and said, man, the CDC really should do something about this. So everybody was finger pointing at everybody else, and nobody did anything. And so then the eviction ban ran out, and now we're allowing evictions. So Cori Bush said, I'm going to sleep on the Capitol steps until somebody does something, and then that really did force Biden's hand to do this. He wasn't going to do shit. And then her sleeping out there she was getting a lot of press for it. By the way, rare instance where you give credit to mainstream media for actually covering her doing this, because it's something they usually ignore. I guess it was such a high-profile thing. So he made a good point. When powerful people do protests, it gets media. It's not like if you had a group of outsiders go sleep on the Capitol steps or whatever, it may not have gotten nearly as much coverage. But Cori Bush did, it got a lot of coverage. When powerful people do protest, it works. So she slept there, and that forced Biden's hand, because Democrats were saying, holy shit, House Democrats are making us look stupid, and they acted on it. Which, by the way, proves the point. When you don't play nice, when you fight, when you use your power and use your outside credibility to rally people to an issue, to take a stand, it worked!
That's right, squad. That's why you need to fucking fight instead of being nice to the establishment Democrats. But when I point that out, Vosh and all the other lefties get violently angry from me from doing that. I find that a little weird, don't you all? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's why I should have done forced to vote.
You
That's why
have
should
to
done
fight.
forced to vote.
Yeah, that's why forced to vote was needed. It's not debatable. You need to fight. You can't be nice with these people. They need to go.
You need to if you have to shut the entire political process down to do it, do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
you have
Stop
to do it.
Pelosi, and then get just enough back in to stop the Republicans getting what's his face, getting McCartney in, and then just shut every vote down and be like, not until we get everything we want. And you guys can go F yourselves.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
that's
but
what
McCarthy
you
was
need to
never
do.
a possibility, though. They needed 218, and they don't have the votes. So either way, McCarthy
But
whatever
likewise,
speaker.
as
You need 218 votes in the House to elect a speaker, and the GOP only has 211 seats. So McCarthy was never going to happen. But yeah, they should have done forced vote. That's the point, but they didn't do it.
And
Which
likewise, this is all the it to say, oh, they don't do anything either. Well, look at what Cori Bush just did. She just helped 90% of renters. But at least temporarily. So both sides are just wrong. You're wrong to say that they don't ever do anything, but you idiots on the left and the squad too are also wrong to say that you can't do anything either. Bush did something that was incredible, and she fucking succeeded. And also she effectively bullied Biden to the left. Which, by the way, Vosh and all of them, what happened? You said you were going to bully Biden to the left. I have yet to see you do that. I only see Corey and them doing it just now.
She only did it once. Yeah, she did, but only once though. Biden's still not left. Only just one time for a few months. What the flip and do? We'll see how long this goes. I don't know.
She's done a lot more than they did. That's for damn sure. They've done nothing.
At least it's a point. It's 1 point of thing.
Yeah, and they've done nothing like they said they were going to do. Absolutely nothing so far.
Yep,
It worked. What Cori Bush did worked. Now, just a couple caveats that are super important that some people are going to overlook here is this is not permanent. And Biden was very clear, we're doing this so that Congress has more time to act and do something that's more long-term to fix the problem. He also said, the states have over $40 billion that we already allotted to this, and they're just sitting on the money and not doing shit with it. Well, now we're giving you more time to allocate those funds properly so that everything's taken care of. And listen, Biden also said, and I believe him on this because of how he said it, in fact, he's repeatedly said it now, he's like, I don't even know if what I'm doing here is constitutional. So what they did is they slightly changed the eviction ban. Instead of 100% of the country, now 90% of the country defined as COVID transition over a certain amount. He's like, I don't even really know if this is constitutional, but the reason I'm doing this is because now it's going to go to court, now it's going to go through litigation, and by the time it's through litigation, again, I'm buying more time for Congress to act and do some shit on it. So, after reading everything I've read on this, I'm convinced that Biden sincerely believes, based on the previous Supreme Court decision from June, that he doesn't have the authority to do this, because he doesn't have the authority to do this. But the only reason he's doing it, even though he thinks it's unconstitutional, because at least I'm buying more time to fix the problem, the states and Congress. So now it's on the state, now it's on Congress, and we'll see if they do anything. It's very possible we're right back in this vote on October 3rd, because they always wait until the last minute. They always do this, but that's the only thing done 1,000 times. It's happened over and over again since I've been covering politics. So they'll probably wait till the last minute, but at least we got some action from somebody, even though it's temporary. But you can't deny it. Cori Bush really led the charge in keeping this in the news. And it really did make all the other Democrats in leadership look terrible. And so it forced their hand to do something. Even though it's minimal, even though it's not permanent, I do think that Biden really thinks he can't do it. He's not allowed to do it, and the Supreme Court rules he's not allowed to do it. So he's just like, all right, I guess I'll try and see what happens, but I'm just finding more time. So massive credit to Cori Bush. Listen, you got to be credit where credit is due. You can't become so cynical and so skeptical that you literally will not take a win for a win, and you won't take yes for an answer. For the love of God, this is exactly what we wanted. It couldn't have gone any better after Cori Bush started doing this protest. And I do give her most of the credit for this. Keeping it in the news, keeping everybody focused, something that the media didn't turn away from, particularly because it was so sensational and she's also a powerful person, she's a congresswoman. And huge point here. Her life mattered, her lived experience mattered, because she was homeless at one point in her life. I don't know if you guys know this. Cori Bush was homeless at one point in her life. And so she went through it. She knows how terrible it is. She knows that nobody wants that. And
well, that's why she
led
did
her
it.
to be so passionate on this issue that she was willing to do an amazing protest, like sleep on the Capitol steps. So, listen, we have other strategic differences with them. Oftentimes, the squad lets us down. But again, take yes for an answer, take a win for a win. This was a gigantic victory. And you have to give credit where it's due. So it matters, guys. And this is the point I've been making all along. It absolutely matters. The more aligned with your politics you can get people in Congress, the better. The better. So there is no the argument of like, oh, they're all the same. It's just factually wrong. Now, granted, nobody's 100% where Kyle Clinton is on these issues. Nobody's talking 95% or 90% where Kyle is on these issues. I like how I'm talking to the third person. That's so strange. And certainly nobody's where I am strategically on all this stuff. But I'd rather have somebody who's 92% with me than somebody who's 74% with me. And I'd rather have somebody who's 38% in favor of the strategies I'm in favor than somebody who's 2% in favor of the strategies I'm in favor of. It's not rocket science. It's like just math. Like, would I rather have somebody who agrees with me more or not? Obviously, somebody who agrees with me more. And every now and then, you get a situation like this where we win and it's glorious and it's wonderful and she deserves the credit. So, this is great. This is great. But now, Congress has to act. Congress has to act. And the states need to allocate that money. And of course, what I'm afraid of is, Lord knows where all that money is. There's $40 billion going to be accounted for. Doubt it, but it matters to get people in there who have personal experience, went through some of this stuff, and then they sympathize. A great example is, I was tweeting about this yesterday. Amy Vilela is running for Congress again. Amy Vilela is one of the original Justice Democrats. The whole reason she's running, she was inspired by Nina Turner, but also her daughter passed away because we don't have a single-payer healthcare system. Because we have a broken, corrupt, rotten healthcare system. Her daughter died as a result of that system. She will stop at nothing to get Medicare for all. She will do every single strategy of hardball that we advocate for on this show. She's convinced that's the best way to try to get Medicare for all. She'll definitely do those things to try to get Medicare for all. Because it's so personal to her, it's about her daughter. It's about her love for her family.
she will fight hell or high water for that. So that stuff matters. It really does. It really does. And we just saw it with Cory Bush and the issue of homelessness. So massive credit on this. And for the love of God, Congress, don't wait until late September, October to do this. Do something now, because.
But that's all they do, though. Remember.
People are fucked in this country. I mean, you have up to 40 million people who are behind on their payments. 40 million. There's about 500,000 homeless people. 40 million are behind on their payments. You really just need to wipe the debt slate clean. You have to do that of the regular people.
Yeah, it's another thing too. You're gonna have to just do a bail them out, because there's no way they're gonna be able to recover from that.
All the renters. I mean, don't tell me we can bail out Wall Street 1,000 times when they're criminals and they're crooks and they committed fraud institutionally, but we can't bail out renters whose lives were upended and ruined, no fault of their own, because there was a pandemic that the government didn't adequately prepare for. Don't tell me that shit. So I would wipe their debt slate clean. I would bail them out. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but if they don't do that, or they don't basically permanently do an eviction moratorium, at some point we're gonna have a housing crisis, the likes of which we've never seen. I mean, this might be equal to the Great Depression in terms of how devastated people will be. And even though in 2008 we had a subprime mortgage crisis and a Great Recession, this will surpass that if things eventually expire. So, buckle up. But at least we have Hogan right now on this issue, and the credit goes to Cory Bush.
So yeah, what do you two have to say about that?
Oh, it's a good one. We get at least a point of credit there. So, hello.
Harry, anything you need to say?
Yeah, obviously what Cory Bush did was a good thing, because she managed to get an extension on the eviction moratorium. Obviously, it's a good thing. Yes, of course, I give her credit for that. What she did was great, but obviously that still doesn't change the fact that she was wrong on forced to vote. Because
yep.
I don't know if you guys, I don't guys can do this. But Max Blumenthal from the Gray Zone recently, he interviewed people who were protesting the eviction moratorium extension. They wanted Biden to do that. I don't know, she was asked about that and she refused to answer. So yeah, not only that,
because they have no valid answer, because they know they're just wrong. That's the end of it. They know they're wrong.
That's right. That's right. That's why they should have done it.
And likewise, just like when Vosh was on Crystal and Kyle and Friends, he could not give a valid reason to be against it other than Jimmy Dore, remember?
Yeah.
The people that were against it, they just did not have a valid reason. We were right, you were wrong. Just take the L and admit it.
Shut up, fuck off, and get on the... fuck off and allow us to push.
Alright, so now, what do you want to talk about?
By the way, right-wing watch, the only alternative to accelerationism is incrementalism, as the Republican Party, the party, rockets towards fascism. You think we're only going to push, should only be pushing 1 or 2 points to anywhere to the left, when they're rocketing they're stretching the top right of the political spectrum and not collapsing.
Alright, so now, this one matters probably to you a lot, Harry, but Cuomo is resigning in a few weeks. About fucking damn time, that disgusting piece of shit. So, of course...
Finally fucking off.
So, anyways... I didn't think this was going to happen. I even was convinced on Kyle's videos on it, but it looks like I was made a fool. But Cuomo was resigning because of all of his sexual assault allegations that are going on. It sucks he couldn't be kicked out, for his corruption. It's always got to be the sexual assault. It can't be the corruption, all that crap, of course.
Not corruption. Yeah, it's always me too.
So, anyways, Harry, since you're a New Yorker, anything to say about this?
Obviously, I found it interesting. I mean, people thought he wouldn't resign, but it turns out he did. And in 2 weeks, he'll be gone. Obviously, and basically, I mean, the reason he resigned is because I don't know if you guys knew this, but not only did he resign because the allegations were true, there were so many allegations. I mean, some of them were bound to be true. Let's be honest, but at the same time, in the New York State legislature, they had enough votes to fucking impeach him. So the reason he resigned was because of that, by the way. Because he would have been impeached, by the way. Because many Democrats in the state, they're more progressive than him, so they don't like him. And so yeah, after 10 years of Governor Andrew Cuomo, he's finally gone. Wow, can't believe it.
Well, also not only. I just remember, too, that you mentioned not only the sexual side, not only the corruption, but also his fuck-ups with COVID, remember? We were making fun about, Florida and Texas being shitholes when it comes to COVID. He was also just as bad, too, and he was a fucking Democrat, too. But, oh, God, the media fucking defended him at all costs, remember? Oh, God. It was so disgusting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, thank God he's gone. You were saying?
Me, I was just sneezing.
So anything else to say, Harry?
No, yeah, I just want to say that, no, yeah, he did like a fuck up with COVID because like he took like money from like the private nursing homes, which killed a lot of old people because he put people in there with COVID. And yeah, he not only did he fuck up with COVID, but also some of the allegations that against him were also proven true. And also because he would have been impeached anyway if he hadn't resigned. So yeah, like after 10 years, like wow, he's finally gone. Yeah.
And I heard something earlier today on RT that supposedly Democrats are not even going to bother to impeach him anymore because he's resigning. That's.
Oh yeah, but they were going to do it. They were actually they had the votes, by the way, but he resigned because I think he knew that. Like, so that's why they're not going to.
I mean, you should probably just still give it a try. I mean, we tried with Trump with January 6th, even though we knew he was going to be gone before it happened. So I don't know why they couldn't just try and do it here anyway. That way he can't ever try and run again. And hopefully give him... And also, to give him a massive stain that way he can't run for president in the future, which you know he wants to, remember.
Yeah.
And also, I also do like that hypocrisy, too, of Me Too. All these old fucks, Democrats and Republicans, doesn't matter. They always can't keep their hands off of women. Like, what the fuck? They always keep making fun of Trump for doing this shit all the time, yet they do it too. Like, what the fuck? And their excuse, that's what we did when we were your age. We sexually assaulted women when we were your age. Well, times change, buddy. We don't do that anymore. How about you adopt with the times? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Oh my god, these people are so fucking stupid. So anyways, good riddance. And then, I don't know about the, hey, Harry, do you maybe know who's replacing him? I think it was some woman. I can't remember her name, though. Do you know anything about it? I don't know if it was his lieutenant governor or anything. Do you know anything about it?
No, yeah, basically, since he's resigning in 2 weeks, Kathy Hochul, who's our lieutenant governor, she's going to replace him, yeah.
So...
Kathy Hochul, she's going to replace him, yeah.
So she's a piece of shit, too?
Probably.
I mean, she's similar to Cuomo. Like, maybe she might be slightly more left, but she also like centrist and neoliberal. So yeah, but obviously we also have an election next year, so we'll see who's going to be our next governor. Like after the 2022 election, like
that's of course
like all states.
That's of course if she runs too, which you never know.
No, yeah, I think she most likely might run for a full term in 2022. We'll see. But like, there's going to be like people who are going to challenge her in the primary.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Come on, Zippy and Nixon, run again, please. We need a progressive up there for God's sake. Just like I need a progressive down here. All right, so we've talked about all the topics, but there's one more I want to talk about a little quickly because it just happened today. If y'all didn't hear, Haiti just had a massive earthquake earlier today.
Yep, another one.
And you know what's even worse?
Can't catch a bloody break.
And you know what's even worse? This one's even stronger than the one in 2010. The 2010 earthquake was 7.0 on the Richter scale. This one today was a 7.2. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. Haven't heard anything about the death toll, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's just as high as it was before, because Haiti, in the 11 years since, has never recovered from the earthquake. They still have never recovered. And of course, with the assassination happened a few months ago, they are probably...
I looked up a couple of other things on Haiti. There's actually a secondary ring of fire in the Caribbean, and Haiti is right on it.
Yep. They're the Japan of the Caribbean, sadly.
Yeah, well, Japan is on the Ring of Fire, so the Pacific Ring of Fire, so
at least
that's incredible why Japan gets hit so often.
But unlike, at least with Japan, they have the economy and the infrastructure to withstand earthquakes. Haiti, unfortunately, cannot withstand anything because they're so poor and for a shithole for centuries. For God's sake, they really. This is never going to happen, but they need like a massive spending from like international aid, like in the hundreds of billions and trillions, to just build them up really quickly over the next several years so they can recover from this crap. Because the fact that they still have never recovered, I wouldn't be surprised if they're worse off now than before the 2010 earthquake, because they are really, really bad off. And the fact that the international community just lets it sit by is just absolutely disgusting.
Let me check something here. How high is... Where are you on the list?
What list you talking about?
Okay, that's not...
What list you looking for?
Yeah. Oh, loading. There we go. Okay, just on the chart, please.
Are you
Here we go.
You looking for like strongest earthquake?
Oh, Haiti is in 13th on the fragile/failed state index.
Yeah, they are like one of the worst states in the world right now.
Look at this. Many of the countries that are above them are failed states.
Yeah, and in terms of that rank, out of like the 200 countries in the world, they're ranked 13th as like literally a failed state. That's how bad they are.
That's a borderline. Yeah, that's Yemen, Somalia, and Syria are the top three. They are failed states. South Sudan, a failed state. Democratic Republic of Congo and Central African Republic, all but failed states. Chad, Sudan, all but failed states. Afghanistan, all but a failed state, a failing state. Ethiopia, it seems to be coming apart at the seams. Nigeria, well, Ethiopia is a failing state. Nigeria is a failed state. Yeah, I reckon given a few years, the Fragile State Index, Haiti will be right up there with Yemen, Somalia, and Syria as a failed state.
And what's sad too is almost all of those countries, it's because of decades-long civil wars. For Haiti, it's largely just poverty for centuries, natural disasters, of course, American intervention, like when we occupied them for 20 years and all that. Oh, God. They need to just get a fucking break. Oh, my God. Yeah. It's just so unfortunate. And we just sit back and just do nothing. So anything you guys say about this, Harry?
Wait, Timbo, when was this? A few days ago? When?
Just today. What, the earthquake just today? Just a few hours ago.
Oh, it's today then, like a few hours ago, right?
Yeah. I posted too on general earlier. Yeah, 10:30 this morning.
I don't read that. Say it again.
10:30 this morning I posted it.
Oh, it's today. Okay. And was the damage like that severe? Like I don't like.
There it is.
Wow.
We have no idea on the fatalities and all that. I would not be surprised if it's just as much, if not maybe more than 100,000+ that died in the 2010 one. Because not only are they, the big reason why they suffered so much deaths in that one, because it wasn't even really that strong of an earthquake. Like, God, like Japan, remember 2011, they had one of the strongest earthquakes ever recorded. It was over a 9 on the Richter scale, and they had like only 20,000 deaths, and most of that was because of tsunami, not even the earthquake. But you know why Japan had so little deaths compared to Haiti, even though Haiti had a less stronger earthquake? Because Haiti is shanty houses in dense areas that can't withstand any sort of earthquake. Japan, on the other hand, can withstand powerful earthquakes, not Haiti. That's why so many people die in comparison. A less powerful earthquake, yet Haiti suffered like 4 or 5 times the deaths as Japan did.
Yeah.
They need to get like massive international aid. Maybe get some engineers and people from Japan to help build up their buildings. That way they can withstand all these earthquakes, because they know what they're doing over there, because they have to deal with the same crap all the time.
Yep.
But of course, knowing the international community, they are never committed to do a massive infrastructure spend like they did. Like, you know how much damage it cost Japan? That earthquake, one of the most highest costs ever, was like $300 billion.
Whoa, yeah.
I doubt even Haiti would cost that much, since they're much smaller than Japan, but it's definitely going to probably be in the tens of billions of dollars, maybe into the 100, but they're just not committed to do that, which they really do need that. Not only would that help them survive like earthquakes in the future, but it would help them build up their economy so they won't be so terrible in the future. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But hey, if it makes you feel better, hey, I know it doesn't mean much, but hey, I'm doing a Vicky 2 run as you right now, and I'm almost made you do a great power. If only that could be the case in real life, though. Alright, so I think we've done enough topics right now. Anything you also want to talk about? Or do you want to get ready to go, Harry, since I'm sure it's 1 in the morning for you?
It's actually 2:11 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Thanks for staying up so late for us, man.
Yeah, that's alright, man.
Alright, so I think we've talked about enough. You two have nothing to talk about?
Not really. We can save it for next episode. Will we have anything else for next episode?
Alright, guys. So, see you guys next time for episode 25.